I think you're willing to face your fears, or you have been willing to face your fears. It's time to give yourself compliments. It's time to start really giving yourself the recognition that you deserve for facing your fears head on, and not shying away from a challenge, and staying maybe when it's been hard to stay. And, maybe that's part of what you're learning. But overall, I think it's time to celebrate yourself and your authenticity that shines through how you build a home, how you build a company, how you build from the ground up, foundational stuff that you can't avoid the beginning steps of. You know what I'm saying? You cannot build the roof without the foundation. You cannot, without the walls. You have to have the structural integrity in place for something like this to even stand. Think of the most beautiful architecture in the world, okay? All of it is beautifully crafted, but also taken into consideration the logic behind it, the math behind it, the knowing that if like this shape is more strong than this shape, and this will make for a more secure, steady building structure. Maybe being alone really scared you, for a long time. I think maybe, you really struggled with feeling like you were going to be alone, or being alone forever, whatever the fear was for you. But I feel like you thought for a while maybe that was your only option, that, once you went into hiding, you were never going to come out, and you were just going to have to accept this loneliness. But I think you realize now that came from a place of fear and restriction on your own part. Ooh. Yeah, I think you might have did something that no one expected. And yeah, turned your whole life on its head. Turned its whole life on its head. And like, maybe to others, they were like not happy with this decision that you made for yourself at first, maybe, the shock factor was completely, had them completely, distracted, like, what the fuck, like, kind of thing. Like, I did not expect that person to do that. Like, when you've done one thing your entire life and then you change it up on them, yeah, it almost kind of looks like she's ruining it. She's ruining a good thing. Like, like, oh, she had, that's not her. Like, she must be unhappy. She must be, she being relative, right? Anybody can fit this role. Like, there's no way this person will find happiness if they don't go with the grain, if they don't follow the leader, if they don't, put their head down and shut up. Yeah, and I think you realize now that that's extremely toxic, and if people feel that way about you, maybe, they don't really have your best interest, and I think you realize that, and maybe close that door completely, really put the nail in that coffin, and yeah, and just saw what would happen next. Yeah, decided to move on, decided to end the conflict, you know what I'm saying, by just simply removing yourself and not having the fight anymore, giving yourself a peaceful resolution, giving yourself closure, in a way that it looks best for you. But yeah, the shock factor, that's what I keep. They're like, what the yeah, they're literally like, wow, who is this bitch? Like, yeah, like you're showing true leadership and you're showing true independence because you're not flocking where everyone else is flocking. But that, at first people are going to judge that hard. People are going to look at that and be like, I don't know if that's going to work for them. I don't know. Anytime that any other person has ever tried something or maybe made an attempt at freedom, maybe it was, they got burnt and they were like, never again, never again. So, for you to be able to have done it in a whole new way and branch out and never come back, I mean, people are shocked. Yeah, I think maybe the expectation was for you to come back. But no, you put yourself in the driver's seat, you gave yourself the authority, and you said, this is my life, and my routines don't have to match up with your routines, and my desires don't have to match up with your desires, and if you want to come, great, and if you don't, then don't. No worries. Yeah, you stood up for yourself. You did. You were assertive with your goals, with your mindset, with what you wanted to see for your life, and I think that's, we're in a weird time right now, an in-between space, in the waiting room, if you will, but these types of efforts pay off. These are the type of efforts, the efforts you put towards yourself. Yeah. What other people had planned for you, you did not have planned for yourself. And let's just put it that way. Like, you're pretty cool. I think you got it handled. I don't think you should doubt yourself so much. Maybe, you doubt yourself. Don't. Because if they were with it enough, they would be standing next to you. Not in front of you, not behind you, but next to you. And that is the most important thing, that we're in on this together and that it's not a competition. We're all on our own path. And once we realize that, we free ourselves and each other. Have a peaceful day.